Welcome back, everybody, to Play on Gamers, the show where we barely show up for the past 2-3 months, but now we are back and we are ready to talk games. There's a lot to talk about. My partner in crime is on the other end with his awesome NASA shirt, Ben Silverman. Ben, what's up, buddy?
1 month till the launch of the James Webb Space Telescope, baby.
Oh,
1 month.
That's pretty cool. Wait, tell me a little bit about that.
With the Space Telescope?
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
It's basically the replacement to Hubble, and it's going out far enough away that it's not going to be affected by Earth's magnetic field and distortions and all that stuff. And it's going to be, I forget the factor of what it's more sensitive than Hubble, but we're going to see some crazy shit.
That actually sounds really fucking awesome.
Fingers crossed for a good launch. You only get one chance.
And double fingers crossed for aliens. Just saying.
If they, hey man, hopefully they're not Independence Day aliens.
Yeah, and they'll blow it out of the sky as soon as you see it.
Cool. Yeah.
Actually, I was just telling you, I got the new job. The guy who started my company, or the company I'm about to start for, he actually was a rocket scientist for. I don't think he was in NASA, but he was in aerospace engineering, and that's what he wanted to be. Was work for like he wanted to be an astronaut. So.
Well. Not too many of them these days in the United States.
Yeah,
now we're getting back to it, but
they're going to replace them all with robots one day, anyways. So,
well, I mean, yeah, when they launch these automated drones to the space station,
they're going to have Davids walking around.
It's only so many you need, so many humans you need to go up there.
It's going to be a lonely life. They better build sex robots like the Chinese. I think they're the ones with the sex brothels, or is that Japan?
Either way, we should go to both.
Yeah. Hey, it's not cheating if it's a sex robot.
That is in the rules of marriage.
Yeah, I believe that. Yes, I believe
my wife would be cool with it.
Yeah, right. It's essentially a moving fleshlight.
Make sure my kid's asleep. Okay. Yeah, he's asleep. He's not listening.
It's all right. He doesn't understand. It's too early. All right, let's get into it. We actually have some really cool news to talk about, and then we'll talk about what we've been playing, which I think obviously I've been playing a good amount of games. And neither one of us are playing the same thing right now. So it's pretty awesome. So we have plenty to talk about. So let's get into the first one. This is like the biggest news right now. Yeah. Microsoft comes in with a 1-2 punch, recognizes that EA is taking a hit with Battlefield, recognizes that Call of Duty sales are down, which I do want to talk about that a little bit, but we'll get into that a little bit. Because I think that's actually a good thing in a weird way. And Microsoft comes in, launches Halo's multiplayer early on the anniversary, come out of nowhere. Campaign is still not out. It's coming soon. But right now, people are in there. They're playing. I think gameplay-wise, from what I heard, I have not had the chance to play it. I know you have. We'll talk about that. I do have it downloaded, though, so we will play.
Yeah.
So far, what I'm hearing, gameplay-wise, really good. Some issues with... some of the balancing and some of the
progression.
Progression parts of the game. Thank you. But overall, I think it's from what I understand, it's stuff that can really be patched out. There's nothing broken. It seems like overall, it's a very solid game. Ben, what do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think about the launch?
I really wish this hadn't have leaked like 2 days before.
I know, right?
Like
you just wake up and
just before the weekend on Friday, everyone started like 2 leakers, like not like big name leakers, but people who have a history and are credible said that this was going to happen. And, a lot of people weren't believing it. I was listening to my other podcasts and, but the most telling thing was that there was no denial. There was no comment. There was nobody from 343 or Microsoft denied anything about it or said anything about it.
Right.
So come Sunday, I'm like, this is definitely happening. Baller move though.
Very baller.
Yeah. And I think a couple of podcasts ago, you and I talked after the Halo betas were out and we were talking about whether it was going to get delayed in campaign. I'm like, this game feels done. Like the multiplayer felt done.
Yeah.
So not surprised that they chose to launch the multiplayer because I don't think they had much left to do with it.
That was probably why they thought they were going to launch, like 12 months ago, because they probably knew the engine was close to done.
Yeah.
And, like you were telling me, right at the beginning of this, the the co-op mode for single player has been delayed all the way till May of 2022. So those are not aware. And like you were just saying this, that's probably the reason that they had a delay, and it's probably a reason why the date was kind of up in the air when they announced that it was coming out in 2021. I think it is disappointing. I think everybody will say it's disappointing. Here's my caveat to it. There is this essence where a lot of people are probably going to play it by themselves. And then all of a sudden, when it comes out in co-op, they might get another spike of the single player because a lot of people will be like, yo, let's go in and play together. And especially if they add new content and stuff like that to also dig into, kind of fix that, right that wrong.
Yeah. I mean, so I have a long history with Halo, but I've never actually played through the campaign co-op all the way. I have played campaign co-op before.
Dude, that's a good point. I don't think I ever have either. I played hours of it.
Yes. So it's not a big deal for me, but I know dozens of people. My partner at work, he is a big co-op Halo guy. He still plays Halo co-op in the campaign. And if you remember in the original Halos, like you couldn't go more than 50 feet from your partner without it like rubber banding you. So I bet they're running into some similar issues with this because they're going so open world.
That you can probably...
Yeah, there's probably too much going on with the world simulation and all kinds of stuff that they just ran into too many issues that they're not used to working with. That
is a great point, dude.
But it is disappointing. I don't know how they thought this game was going to launch a year ago.
I just don't. Do you think maybe they were at one point potentially planning on just launching the online, like kind of like way in advance?
Yeah, they would have gotten killed. But
unless it was free.
You saw what happened with Battlefield. So Battlefield.
Yeah, but if it was free
is a different story.
If the multiplayer was free, yeah.
So this also explains why back during E3 we thought Battlefield was going to go be a Game Pass game. We thought
it probably will make it a Game Pass.
But we thought there was at least I did. I thought there was no way Battlefield was going to launch a $70 game, multiplayer only, against Call of Duty and Halo. And I thought Xbox was going to scoop them up, but they clearly knew ahead of time they were going to launch this multiplayer. So they couldn't launch two multiplayer games at the same time.
Man, EA screwed themselves with that game so bad.
Yeah, like you said, Battlefield's getting destroyed. And I was a big Battlefield fan back in the day. Yep. Battlefield 2, LAN parties, Battlefield 2 at Neshaminy Mall.
I mean, we used to play Battlefield together, dude.
All the time, dude. Battlefield Vietnam, Battlefield 3, 4 was the last one I actually played multiplayer
for a while.
But Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5, like all these great games. And then I have zero interest in 2042. Zero interest.
I have zero interest in Call of Duty at this point, too.
Call of Duty is getting destroyed, too.
Aren't sales down digitally like 40%?
36% digital sales year over year. And
then 25 physical, I think, something like that.
And I'm a big Call of Duty campaign guy. I don't play multiplayer. I play Warzone a little bit, but huge Call of Duty campaign guy ever since the original. And from what I heard about this one, I haven't played it yet. It's a World War II story, but it's not a realistic World War II story.
Oh, great. Everybody loves that.
So I don't know why they went World War II. They could have done the story in any time period, but they also just delayed their Vanguard Warzone modification where they change Warzone every year when new Call of Duty comes out. So bang and move by Halo by 343.
Brilliant.
Releasing Halo right now. That's all anybody's playing. 300,000 concurrence on Steam the other day. I woke up at like 5 a.m. and played before work. Like, it's awesome. They did a great job.
It's a system selling move, honestly, because even PlayStation users or people who have Nintendo, maybe they're looking for that S model just to get their hands on it, on a gaming PC,
cloud gaming, and
yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna talk about that too.
And like you said earlier, there were some issues with progression. Been patched. They took the feedback. They changed the battle pass system. You used to not get XP unless you completed certain challenges, like kill 10 guys with a battle rifle.
Yeah.
But like I killed 400 guys with an assault rifle and I got no XP.
Yeah.
They modified
that. Always rewarded for playing the game.
Exactly. And they listened, and it may not be perfect yet, but it's a week. It's been a week. So
but that's the luxury of making it free. It's like, if you really think about it, it's pretty brilliant because it's free. So everybody's going to forgive them for anything wrong with it. They knew that the mechanics themselves were good, right? They knew they built a good game. And they released it early because they're probably like, okay, it's going to be flawed regardless. It's free, so people are going to give us a break. It's not like we're charging them for it, right? They're just going to be happy to be playing Halo. We're going to essentially take all this feedback, and by the time the campaign mode comes out, we patch that as well, and we can probably fix some additional bugs, or do some balancing fixes as well. If there's anything wrong with any of the guns, that might make its way even into the single player.
They put the beta label on it, so they have that out. It's still beta.
They knew it, dude. Kudos to Microsoft, man.
I forget the game last year that came out. It was a multiplayer game that was just destroyed and came out too soon. And but they just, because they refused to call it a beta. That's all they needed to do was call it a beta. Yes. And yeah, I've got nothing but good things about Halo. I had a great time. We'll talk about it when I talk about what we've been playing.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. I haven't played it. I did download it though immediately as soon as I found out it was available. I was planning on playing it, but I'll talk about it later. I got a bunch of games right now, so it's and I was getting a new job, so
embarrassment of riches in gaming right now. A lot of stuff.
It's funny. It's also like kind of a nostalgic period right now for me in gaming, because like what I've been playing is also like outside of Guardians of the Galaxy, which I just got today. We'll talk about that. Everything else is kind of like an old property, like Halo, Age of Empires, KOTOR. We'll talk about it, but
KOTOR is an old game and an old property.
It's still so good. Oh my God. It's crazy how good that game is, dude.
Crazy person.
All right. Anything else left to say on Halo outside of it? I did want to say something about Call of Duty being good. I think Call of Duty needs a wake-up call. Like, let's be honest. They're on their high horse, as they should be. It's still, I think, the highest selling game of the month. I'm pretty sure. It's like that and FIFA are still selling ridiculously well.
Yeah.
Having said that, they need to stop. Like, I used to love Call of Duty, and now literally it's like annoying background noise. And it's not because I think the engine sucks or something. There's just nothing about it that is intriguing at all. It's kind of how I feel about some of these Marvel movies at this point. We were just like, enough. Like, can you squeeze a little bit more? Like, it would be like, we don't need a Call of Duty every year, especially now they have you really do not need a Call of Duty every year. It's crazy. There's no excitement about that brand. The engine is barely evolved. They have no new ideas. I would love to just see a fantasy Call of Duty. Like, let's just do it. Let's just do it.
There was one in development a long time ago. Sledgehammer got pulled off it to finish Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they tried to do something different, but
they haven't. But maybe that's why I kind of say, like, I'm not happy that the team suffered. Like, I don't want to see anybody get fired or anything like that. But what I do want to see is them to go reevaluate and be like, okay, like, maybe we try a new IP, in between. Maybe we do something just completely different and then come out with Call of Duty a year later or 2 years later and make everybody build up for the next Call of Duty again. Like, maybe I'll even look what happened with Halo.
Well, Assassin's Creed did that.
And it worked at first.
Yeah.
It worked at first.
They went back to the year-over-year thing.
Yes. And Valhalla, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with Valhalla's gameplay. It's the story is just, I like literally fall asleep. I still have no idea what the game is about. I put 40 hours into it. No idea. Zero idea what the
Assassins and Creeds.
Yeah.
They and the next game's being made by Infinity Ward, who made my not unpopular opinion, but my favorite modern Call of Duty game in Infinite Warfare, which was the one with the dude from Game of Thrones and
I never played that one. And the molester, Chester the Molester. What's his name? He's a great actor. Why can't I remember his name?
I don't know. But
man. Well, we'll call him Chester the Molester.
Whatever. But it was
I'm gonna look it up.
It was like a near future space travel, familiar but not, kind of like Battlestar Galactica. I loved it. Story was a little but the gameplay was great. You fly around in spaceships, jump out.
That's right up your style. Yeah. Completely right up your style. Like that grounded.
But you're still shooting machine guns. But
yeah, exactly.
But it's you can see the techno. It's like, if you ever seen Battlestar Galactica?
No, I have not.
The ships aren't pretty. They're functional. Like there's no fancy shit like you see in Star Trek. It's like this
Did
is
you see
what.
Dune?
Not yet. It's on my list
How
though.
have you not seen Dune? Oh yeah. I want to know what you think about it after you see it. But,
that's why I haven't seen Dune.
well, I have a Plex account. You can. Oh, I probably shouldn't say it on here, but I have a way for you to watch it at home if you want. Oh, it's worth.
You think I don't know how to watch it at home if I want to?
Oh yeah, that's a
Who are you talking to?
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. But yeah, you're gonna. I mean, I really love Doom, but to your point, it's like that grounded sci-fi where it's like, there's something in Dune. This is not a spoiler at all. You didn't read the books, right?
Mm-mm.
So this is not a spoiler. It's not even mentioned in the movies at all. Kevin Spacey is the molester.
That was Advanced Warfare, by the way. That wasn't Infinite Warfare.
Okay, good. So different. Okay, so whoever's in Infinite War, you're not a molester. In case you hear,
it might be. But.
Yeah, well, actually, it's true. You never know. But something in the Dune story which is really cool. So in Dune, there's a lot of space travel. There's a lot of technology, but there are no computers. You'll notice when you see like there are 0 computers in the movie, and the reason is because there was an AI war that predates the movies that happened way back in the day, and it almost wiped out like everybody in the universe. So now they're like completely stay away from computers. So they find all these ways to use technology without using computers, without like like none of the shit that we use. So I like that kind of stuff. It's one of those like. Dune is apparently like one of the deepest universes ever, and just
very old sci-fi. Yeah.
Nothing seems to fill the amount of like background information you're supposed to get out of it. All right, let's get into the next topic. GeForce Now announces 380 tier, and this is an article on TechCrunch. Ben, I'm going to let you. Oh, I skipped one. We'll get back to it.
Yeah.
So I'll let you go through this because you obviously know the details more. I more just found out about it recently, but we're talking about 144p, 120 frames per second over stream, which is incredibly impressive. And GeForce is already usable and now getting to a point where, you're really starting to compete with consoles on a really serious basis. Pricing wise, $100 for 6 months, a little pricey, but that price will probably drop as popularity grows. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah. So, I mean, this is insane, and I haven't used it myself, so I can't attest to it too much, but new 3080 tier. Now it's not exactly using a 3080. That's just what they called it because that's their top of the line card right now. But so what they're giving you for, was it $100? 6 months for $100, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's what I read.
What they're giving you is priority access to the stream, so you don't have to wait in any queues or anything like that. 1440p, 120 frames per second on PCs and Macs. If you have an NVIDIA Shield streaming device, you can get 4K, 60 frames per second HDR.
Okay.
Ray tracing, all the works. Ultra low latency is really what this tier does. So they're promising up to 56 milliseconds in latency, which is ridiculous when you think about the fact that just plugging in a console to a TV, you're close to 100 milliseconds of latency just with that. So streaming over the internet, it should be more responsive than a home console in some ways, not under the best circumstances perhaps, but
yeah.
I use GeForce Now regularly, definitely not to play games at work. It works amazing. It's sometimes I forget I'm streaming a game. I don't get any pixelation. I don't get any lag.
That's over Wi-Fi or direct?
Direct. I would never try it over Wi-Fi.
I was going to say, that's the problem with it, is that
I wouldn't do anything over Wi-Fi if I didn't have to.
I use Wi-Fi.
Yeah. But yeah, so what they're giving you that 1440, 120 frames per second, processing power of 3 Series X's, basically graphics power, everything. They cover 80 countries worldwide, obviously the most populated ones. Got to have a good internet infrastructure, but I love where they're going, and I love the GeForce Now model of you play the games that you have
that you already own. Yeah.
So I load up GeForce Now. There's a game I've been playing called The Rift Breaker, and when I go to GeForce Now, I click on it and it says, "Do you have it in Epic or Steam? Which one do you own it in?" And you just select which one you own it in, and it loads it up through your account there. So it's not just Steam, it's not just Epic. You can play it anywhere. It loads up your cloud saves. It's great.
That's awesome. What a great experience. And let's just roll straight into the next story, and then I'll go back to our second story that I skipped over. GeForce Now coming to LG TVs. Just to pile on what they're already doing. And obviously, a lot of people have LG TVs. If you can run it directly on your TV, all of a sudden you're not even looking to buy a console, which pretty difficult to find one still. And especially with the, if you're not buying it from scalpers online, you're going to pay a pretty penny for the scalped ones. Otherwise, you're still waiting in line. So that is an opportunity to get it in people's hands. And I assume it's not going to stop with LG. I don't know if it's going to come to Sony, but I imagine the other TVs will probably make their way over there as well. Especially if LG is one of their targets, one of the biggest. What do you think?
You'll probably see it on the streaming sticks first.
Yep.
Once Stadia dies, it'll probably be on the Google devices. But yeah, we have a game streaming heavy show today. But you and I predicted back at E3 that xCloud was going to come to Samsung TVs. Didn't happen. I still think that is going to happen. Just hasn't yet. But this was an unexpected first shot at that.
Yeah.
You have a controller for $60. You can play high end ray traced 60 frames per second games on your TV that you already own. It's insane.
It's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And how many people can't find a console right now? And
console or video cards. You can't find anything.
Right. If you want to build a PC, it's going to be a pain in the ass. Yo, we got so lucky, Ben.
Yeah. So I talked to
3070s.
One of the people that I support in my job the other day, and he had built a gaming PC for his nephew, and he spent $2,000 on just the video card.
What did he buy?
3080, but he spent $2,000.
But the 3080 was originally like, what, 850 or something like that? He paid more than double.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I'm like, yeah, we paid retail for our 3070s.
I still can't believe I found two of them, dude.
So
I still can't believe that.
Like, that's what people are paying right now. And he's just like, that's what he wanted. And I had to find it and I had to buy it off eBay. And that's what I paid. I'm like, holy shit, dude. And that's not abnormal. And for, you buy an Xbox controller for 40, 50, 60 bucks, whatever it is, and you can play on your TV instead. That's how I'd go until this shit calms down.
That's crazy, dude. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, dude, I can't even imagine paying $2,000 for a video card that was worth $800.
So along the same lines, let's keep it rolling, man. Microsoft just enabled xCloud or Game Pass Ultimate streaming, whatever the hell. It's still xCloud on the original Xbox One consoles, Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X consoles.
Expand the lifespan.
Yeah, so you have an original Xbox One. You can't find a Series X. You can, right on your console, do Game Stream and play Microsoft Flight Simulator, Halo Infinite, all the new Series X games. You can play on your old 7-year-old console at this point, 8-year-old.
It's crazy. It's becoming a weird world, dude.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be a lot of, like I was saying this before we started recording, it's like a lot of these hybrid models are definitely going to wake, even some of the stuff that they're doing now, eventually is going to be allocating like ray tracing to the cloud, and you're going to get an extra performance boost out of your current card because you're going to be, moving around the memory allocation from physical to cloud. Well, and it's going to be just more of a seamless experience.
That was the original dream of the Xbox One. If you remember back when, was it Don Matrick or whatever was in charge before Phil Spencer, where Xbox One was going to be an always online console.
Right.
And then PlayStation famously like slaughtered them at E3 with the price point, and
they were just ahead of their time.
Yeah. So they wanted to offload processing of the games to their server farms to what eventually became xCloud. Like Crackdown 3 demo was shown off there, where like all the physics and destruction was done in the cloud. And then locally, you're only doing the movement and the shooting, and but the complex calculations and all that stuff was done in the server farms. They were way ahead of their time, and obviously that they reversed course on all of that.
Yeah,
and probably rightfully so.
Yeah,
and Crackdown was terrible.
Yeah,
but
they were just ahead of their time. They're just years ahead.
Yeah, they tried too much at once.
I mean, but that can be an issue. That definitely is an issue. And as somebody who works in product, like I tend to do that a lot, where I'm like, I was saying with like VR years ago, I'm like, oh, VR is here, but like it was, but it's going to take longer than what you get excited about, right? Just because you're nerding out on this one thing doesn't mean the market is going to accept it.
Right.
Very, very different element there. So that's also awesome. I mean, I feel like Xbox is doing so many cool things right now. I mean, I still love Sony and I still love Nintendo, but if you're talking about from a tech standpoint, it's hard to compete with Microsoft. You know, I guess like GeForce obviously and Nvidia, you know, they're doing their own thing, but it's kind of a whole different element at this point where things are just getting weird. And I just love it. I love I love the battle because I know it's going to force the other companies to catch up. So, all right, let's backtrack a little bit and then we'll get right back on track. GTA Trilogy has released, and boy, is it a fucking disaster. And I do curse because I do not think you could botch it. I don't think they could have botched this any worse. And for a company that had such a stellar reputation, I think somebody wasn't doing their due diligence with this one, which is insane considering it's 3 GTA games that made your reputation. And it seems to me like they used AI or something. Whatever they did, they tried to automate this process. But this game, I don't know if it looks worse originally, but it's broken in so many ways. And the stuff that they've even up-resed has destroyed some. Like I saw the one thing that stuck out to me the most, outside of like the disappearing bridges and all this other stuff I've seen, the rain. Like it's not even playable. How do you play that game?
Yeah, how'd that pass QA?
Yeah. How do you go, oh yeah, this is fine? You didn't do it. You didn't QA the game. That's kind of what I take away. They rushed it. They ran out of time. They knew it was broken. And some reason it got out there, which I think is kind of insane, especially for a company with so much money. What is the reason to rush this out and to not bring it out on time? What do you think, Ben?
I don't know, but they've done some really shitty stuff over the past few years in the lead up to this release with DMCAing mods and fan modifications, and they pulled the old games off of Steam. They delisted them, so you couldn't even buy the old games as of months ago.
Didn't the head of studio leave? One of the founders of Rockstar leave?
Don't remember.
I'll look it up, but I'm pretty sure he went to go start his own studio. But please.
But and then even speaking of delisting, they pulled this game off of they only released this on their Rockstar launcher. And the reason for that was clear, is because they didn't want Steam issuing refunds to everybody immediately. So
Cyberpunk all over again.
They release it on Rockstar launcher. And then they realize, in addition to the game being total shit, that they included files in there they shouldn't have. They accidentally included some of the source code in plain text of the entire game. So the source code for the game was leaked. Music files that were supposed to have been deleted were still there. Tons of stuff was there. So what do? They pull it down. So people who have paid $60 for these 3 games can't play it if you bought it on PC. They blocked access to the Rockstar launcher for 3 days.
Probably because they were going to get sued. They probably didn't have a choice.
Blocking refunds, trying to keep people from refunding it. In that time, they couldn't play what they had gotten. They couldn't buy the old versions,
which apparently look better to some degree
with mods. Yeah, and then once they finally did put it back up, all these problems still persisted with the rain. And I saw a weird bug where if you were in a car and you kept going left and right in the car just kept getting wider and wider and wider until eventually, like, the physics were destroyed. Like the car would wiggle itself bigger.
Oh my God. I wish I gotta look that one up later.
I'll send it to you. But like, this trilogy's been rumored for years. I've been hearing about this as long as I've been hearing about the Metroid Prime trilogy on Switch. And like this is what you're releasing?
Well, here's what I was trying to reference earlier. Rockstar Games co-founder Dan Houser, the man behind Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption, Bully, and there are other games left in 2019.
Yeah, Dan Houser.
Yeah, I believe he's forming his own studio.
Yes.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of my favorite games ever. But boy, it does feel like Rockstar is kind of...
Well, they make like $2 billion a month or something from GTA Online. So
yeah, but that's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is like these companies, this is like what we were talking about Call of Duty. It's like they become a machine. People who don't work in gaming, they come in, they start running it like it's a fucking business. And I get that. I do. I understand the business mindset. Problem is you don't know anything about fucking games and you destroy it. You destroy the properties, you destroy the game. We've seen it with every big studio. Somebody walks in from like, they ran Nike or something and they walk into the video. They're like, oh, I ran product. I know exactly. And then they're terrible and they make these horrendous decisions and they don't protect their properties. And, I've said this before. It's like, we always thought that Nintendo was like old school, but I think they just think things through a lot better than a lot of these American companies because they've survived all of this. And I'm getting this from Colin Moriarty. So credit to him on this one. I think all around Mario games have sold about 400 million copies, something like that. And look at the attention to detail they put. And you never see a broken game come out that's a Mario. Like it would never happen. It doesn't happen.
Yeah, they release. The thing about Nintendo games are they ship games that work. You don't see day one patches.
Never. Exactly.
Typically, you do sometimes.
But it's like the far outlier.
Like Metroid Dread did have a day one patch to fix a game-breaking bug, but that's also not. I don't think that's a first-party game. I think it's a second-party game, Metroid. Yep. But
you're right.
And
it's still a high-quality game.
It
wasn't a botched thing. It's one thing if it has like this trilogy thing is a disaster.
It's a disaster. It's
like Blizzard all over again. It's like Blizzard with Warcraft 3, a game that is legendary and that they released broken. How do you do that with your biggest property? It doesn't make. And now there's no Warcraft 4.
No.
And probably killed any chance of it because of that release. And obviously GTA is still going to come out, but they're going to be the butt end of a joke for like how long now? Like, how are you going to fix this? The game's completely broken.
Yeah. I mean, you see very few game companies come back from things like that. I mean, CD Projekt Red has a huge road ahead of them to get back in the good graces after Cyberpunk. You got Hello Games spent years re-earning the trust. And I guarantee you the next game that Hello Games decides to put out, everyone will buy. Because they put the time in to rebuild everyone's trust. So,
I would agree. I think Cyberpunk's opportunities with Witcher 4, I think Cyberpunk is obviously, or not Cyberpunk. What the heck's the name of the studio? Why is this game? CD Projekt Red. Yeah. Their opportunities with the next Witcher. And at least they know that they can do that and they can do that well. But you're not wrong. You're absolutely right. But if they release a Witcher 3 plus for a Witcher 4, that's not gonna.
I think they're done with that. I think they're gonna go silent for many years. But
you think so?
Yeah. Well, they're gonna try and fix Cyberpunk for the next 2, and then realize they can't, and then they'll do The Witcher.
Yeah. Well, they delayed the updates for both of them, so it's gonna be a long and ugly road for those companies, and literally probably could have been avoided if they just said we're delaying Cyberpunk for a year.
Yeah. Or just don't announce the GTA trilogy that nobody was demanding you release this year.
Yeah, that's also a great point. Who was yelling and screaming for this game that you had to get it out? Probably because the holidays are here.
I guess.
And you could have sold in the summer.
I could play all 3 of these games on my cell phone. Like I didn't need it.
That's the version you got, apparently.
Yeah.
You didn't even get the console version. You got the mobile version.
Mobile ports were fine. It was just
fucking disaster.
Yeah.
I'm not angry at any one specific person. I'm sure there's somebody to blame. But when you see these, and I'm not even a GTA guy anymore. Like Red Dead Redemption is my Rockstar game. But at the same time, it's like, these are important games.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they treat them like they're goddamn nothing. And it kind of reminds me of Hollywood that's destroying all these franchises too. Though I think that's also getting better as well. I think, they kind of, after they lose money, they have no, like, look what happened with Star Wars. It's like, then we got The Mandalorian. Mandalorian's a good show, right? So it's like, you just can't, they got to stop. They got to start putting this stuff in the right people's hands. Take your time with it, evaluate it, and be super strict with it. That's something HBO does, actually. And The Last of Us show, we'll see how it comes out. But they're really, really stringent. Like, they cancel decent shows. Like, if a show is like decent, they'll cancel it. Yeah. It's like greatness or nothing. And a company like Rockstar, like, that should be their attitude. It's very upsetting because Red Dead Redemption 2 is like an incredible game. All right, let's get on to the next thing. The Steam Deck is delayed. We don't have too much to say about it.
That's surprising.
I think you're supposed to get yours before I get mine. I'm
December.
in the second
I was supposed to get in December.
Okay, so you're probably getting it beginning of February, something like that at this point?
March, yeah. Okay, that date too. It's supply chain, man.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. Nintendo cut their forecast for Switches. PlayStation cut their sales forecast by 1 million units. This shit is real, and you see it in all industries. You can't buy a car right now, even if you wanted to. So,
tell me about it.
Yeah, I've never seen like car lots so empty driving around.
Dude, Mike, I just got into an accident. Somebody destroyed my car. I'm getting a.
You used to driving in Israel? You're driving on the left-hand side? What happened?
Dude, I didn't do it. They this woman flew through an intersection, hit me. A dog was in the back. Roommate was in the side.
Momo, okay? I don't care about your roommate.
Yeah, she's cool. Luckily, she's cool. The window was open too, dude. Luckily, she didn't go out the window or anything. Everything was fine, but it did destroy my car. So the car got totaled. They gave me considerably more than what I was going to sell the car a while ago. They gave me considerably more, but I'm like,
buy anything.
That's the problem. I was like, I don't even know if I can buy a car. So, just a pain in the ass, man. So when we do get our hands on it, and again, Ben will probably get it before I do. Maybe we'll do like a whole episode thing about it.
Yeah.
It's still pretty exciting. I mean, I'm using my Switch a lot now that I bought a couple cool games. But the idea of having Steam library and other PC games without cloud, playing anywhere with this Switch-like device, I'm into it. I wasn't even sure if I was going to keep it, but now I just want it more since the delay. So hopefully you get yours first, and maybe I'll get mine by the summertime at this point. So we'll see what happens. All right. Anything else you want to say there? You good?
No, that's just.
All right. On to the next story. This is one we talked about not too long ago. Oculus Quest 2 has shipped 10 million units. We both own an Oculus Quest. I own the 2. You didn't buy the 2 in the end, right? You have the original?
I do not. I still have the original.
Yeah. But still obviously plays, same games. Resident Evil 4, from what I understand, is a big hit in VR. I have not played it yet. My actual Quest is not doing too well right now. I think I have to reset the whole thing. It's like weird stuff with the camera and leveling. For some reason, it's just not picking up the floor. So I got to figure that out, which should be fun. But overall, Quest 2, killing it. And this is kind of what I was referring to earlier, right? Some things are ahead. This is the first time we have a VR product that's just super cheap, easy to use, has killer apps on it. Resident Evil 4 on it is obviously a system seller to a lot of gamers.
Yeah.
And wouldn't be shocked if in a couple of years we're talking about it selling 20 million units. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, this is awesome news for VR. Yep. And you see that with these games that are getting announced, like Resident Evil 4 was announced. There was GTA San Andreas got announced for it.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Don't know how that's going to happen. But the reason you're seeing those kind of things skeptical. Is because the attach rate on the Oculus Quest is insane.
It's like a Vita.
Yeah, it's like a Vita or it's like a Switch. You remember when Switch first came out, they had sold more games than Switches. Or like there was more copies of Breath of the Wild sold than Switches exist because people were buying games. Like Switch owners buy games. Vita owners bought everything that existed. And now there's more Oculus Quest 2s in the wild than there are Xbox Series X and S's combined. So you think about that, there's more. Like, have you ever thought there would be more VR consoles out than Microsoft's flagship home console? and this is just the Quest 2. This is not even taking into effect the PC VR or the original Quest, of which there's probably like 3 or 4 million in the wild.
It's exciting.
This is great news for VR. Great news.
I mean, like, you look at what it's doing now, try to throw another 5 years on it. Mm-hmm. You know, what's the Quest 3 going to be? You know, it's probably going to be a few years till they make another Quest, but what's it going to be like?
Yeah.
How high fidelity is it going to be? How popular is it?
And they keep adding all these features to the Quest.
Yeah. Like really good features.
Yeah. Like now if somebody walks into your play space, the Quest will warn you.
Yeah.
And it'll say, don't hit this kid that just walked in front of you. And you hit him anyway.
No more dads punching their kids in the head. Because
he needs to learn.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah, man. That's all I got on that. I mean, this is good news.
Yeah, it's just great news for VR because we obviously both believe in it, and I will be playing Resident Evil 4 eventually on it. I love that game, so it's definitely one I have to replay, and I'm really excited for whenever that remake will come out, probably in 2 years. I'm excited for that as well. All right, last bit of news. Maybe this one's the best for last, actually, because I am not a huge From Software fan, but I will say, God damn, did this game looks good. Elden Ring Technical Alpha is ongoing. There's 15-minute gameplay video. I keep talking about Skill Up. I sent you the video. He has a great video breakdown of the, I watched a few though. I spent like 3-4 hours watching videos of this game. I actually tried to sign up for the Technical Alpha as well to try to see if I could get access. Man, this game looks like Breath of the Wild meets Dark Souls. It seems more approachable than Dark Souls, which is really nice. Just features in it that won't be as frustrating as dying over and over again. You have more exploration involved. The game looks absolutely beautiful. Doesn't look like super realistic, but it's very stylized. Gorgeous animations. Looks like the world itself is built kind of in the way that we were hoping Breath of the Wild would be, and I hope it's Breath of the Wild 2 will take from this. Like, there are like little dungeons buried behind stuff, and like you go underground, and there's just so much cool shit. It does seem like a day one purchase for me at this point, even though I am a little hesitant, just because I'm probably going to be shit at the game, not because I won't enjoy it. But Ben, what did you think?
Yeah, I've never played a From Soft game.
Only Bloodborne for me, and I got my ass kicked.
Never played one. I will play this game, and it reminds me, just in its look and style from Shadow and Mordor.
Yeah, bit. I see that.
It looks great. I'm like echoing the same things you said. I'm glad they didn't go too hard on the graphics. They're clearly spending a lot of time in world and world building and quests and stuff like that. A lot of podcasts I listen to, people were in the Technical Alpha. There's no HUD. They don't tell you where your quests are. You have a notebook that says like, I heard a cave was somewhere around here and you got to go find it. There's no marker on your HUD that says go here for cave with troll in it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm anticipating the delay or two for this game before it comes out next year. But
you think so? You think so? Because the Technical Alpha was like, I mean, I guess it was designed specifically for that. Like,
it's a vertical slice. It's like an E3 demo.
Yeah. But nobody was reporting any issues. It could be delayed. It was a pretty confident move.
So they're doing full co-op in this, which is a banging move.
Online only though, right?
Yeah.
There's no couch co-op or anything. Yeah.
No.
That would be crazy. We never get that anymore.
Can't run the game twice, which is what couch co-op has to do. But that'll be the first fully co-op Souls game, I believe.
God, are you gonna get that for PC?
Yeah, I'm an adult.
I wonder if we can play. If I get it for PS5, am I gonna be able to play it? Because I want to play with the PlayStation controller.
I mean,
I guess I probably could anyway.
PlayStation doesn't play too well with others these days.
Yeah, I know. Because that would be an awesome game to play with you, and would probably help me because I'd probably suck at the game. But the one thing that we were talking about Halo, we were talking about Assassin's Creed. Like, Assassin's Creed exploration is just horrible.
Yeah, there's no exploration.
So bad. Yeah, there's no intrigue in there. It's all, and the down thing I'm hearing about Halo 2, it's like you're kind of just running the areas where there's like a battle, a small one, you kill some dudes, you move to the next place. Yeah, It's like that is not good. Like that's not what open world used to be. And it seems like Elden Ring, it seems like it evolved to this like generic cookie cutter. Hey, we'll just map stuff out. We'll put some stuff here, and there. And it doesn't seem like Elden Ring is going by that at all. It seems like everything in it is so well thought out, from what I understand, that every area is its own journey. And I think Breath of the Wild really did that first. And I think it's really interesting that these companies that didn't do open world games are coming into it, right? Like From Software as well, and just showing them how it's done. It's like they're like learning from all these terrible examples they have from companies that should have perfected it, and just doing it right. I will say this seems like a game of the year candidate already for 2022.
Yeah, I mean, it looks awesome, and it's crazy that we knew nothing about this game only like a month or two ago.
Crazy,
and
now we know a ton.
People are playing it, yeah.
And I think in the demo you pick from like a character, but they said in the game itself you can just build your own. Like you're not set to a specific armor or anything like that. It's like much more open game.
Yeah, it looks great. It looks like an open world Souls game.
My only thing that I didn't see, and this is what I love in open world games, I don't think we'll see this in this, but I didn't see like any towns or anything. I didn't see like any places where you like, that there's like not a bunch of killing monsters, and that you maybe meet some people, or like you have like a home base type of thing. Maybe that's not part of the game at all, and that's fine. But I didn't see any of that.
You're probably, I'm just guessing, but I'm guessing it'll be like an MMO town where you just have vendors and whatever, and a couple people here and there, but nothing like the level of The Witcher.
Yeah, exactly. Witcher is such an impressive game, man. How the hell did Cyberpunk fall so fast? All right, let's move on to what we're playing.
Yep.
We will alternate back and forth. I will start. So Age of Empires 4, got it for PC.
Looking forward to hearing about this one.
Yeah, so Age of Empires. So I was talking about, obviously, in previous episodes, I played 2, 3, 1. Played it pretty much all my life. Loved strategy games forever. I was really looking forward to this game. Overall, the game looks beautiful. It's a really good looking game. It plays really well. It's definitely a refined version of what we already have. Like a lot of the stuff is not like game breaking or anything like that, but it works really well. The one thing they definitely stick more to, know your character types, like your Pikmin versus your swordsmen versus your archers versus your horsemen. Like all of that matters, and the strategy in the battles definitely matter more than ever. So if you have a bunch of Pikmin with archers, and the archers themselves can deploy like spikes all around them if they're central, like you can't just go in there like with an army of horses, just wipe them out. You're probably going to lose all of your horses. Okay. Like, and that's happened to me quite a bit, where like I outnumbered a certain amount, but because I didn't strategize my attack properly, I was punished for it. So a lot of it is like using your groupings, like losing your 1, 2, 3, and 4, or whatever, like numbering them, and then timing your attacks. And they teach you that through the missions. So like a lot of stuff, like there's stories where you set up ambushes, right? Like you draw in your enemy and they start coming in, and you put your horsemen like on the outside. You make them come across a river, and then you line up with your Pikmin and they run at you, and you start fighting all the horses, right? And they start firing, and then you bring your horsemen like behind it and your knights, and you come up behind all the archers and just start picking them apart. That stuff is in there, and it's really nice. It is the level of refinement I think that Age of Empires needed, because in the older Age of Empires, you could just put together an army and just go and bum rush.
That's how I play StarCraft.
Yeah, that's how I play everything, right? I play defense, build a huge army, and then so like you can still do that, but if you don't strategize your actual battles, it's not the same. Like you can beat a larger army if you strategize right, which is kind of cool because that's more realistic. The landscape matters more, like elevation matters. You like if you're elevated, your archers do more damage. There's there's cool base building stuff in it. But I was saying this to you before we started, that the downside I don't like about the campaign so far, I haven't played any just like skirmishes, but the thing I don't like about the campaign, there isn't enough like straight clean land where you just build up your own army and you build up your own base and you take your time. It's like everything kind of has a story and you're kind of walking into a scenario. So you already have a base built, like a lot of your, and then it's like managing, like getting attacked, and it's based off of real story. So it's like, oh, prepare for wave 1, prepare for wave 2. And I like that, but it's not my favorite. Like I love just building a base from scratch. Some missions do that, but not enough. There's a lot of like, hey, defend your walls. And it kind of sucks because when you build a base, you really like to know where everything is. And I have to learn the way they built the base. And it's like, it kind of sucks, right? Like I know where I built everything, so I know how to quick access every stuff. But now I'm like, oh, what is this building? What is that? And so
this is really weird to hear that they did this.
Yeah.
Because isn't there like an over map where you like move your people around like a total war where you move your armies around and stuff?
I think there's a mode for that, but I have not played it. I'm just talking about the campaign itself.
All right.
It's just like one story campaign to the next. I started off with the English. I jumped around a little bit. The Mongolians have a really cool mission where you take down the Great Wall of China. So that's pretty cool. There's obviously a lot of classes in there. I would just like a lot more just raw, nothing built. I want to build everything up, but I haven't had a lot of that. That's the downside. And I got a little frustrated with the campaigns that way, but I still want to play more of the game. Like the game itself is really good. And I've only finished probably like 20% of the campaign, if you include all 4 campaigns. I like got really far in one of them and then started the Mongolians. I think I have like 1 left of the English or something like that. So there's more to play. So maybe I'm wrong and there's more of that than I think. But I definitely think if you're online just battling people, I don't think you'll notice that issue at all. Like you'll be building your base up. Nothing too crazy. Like there isn't this like huge generational leap, but it's really just a really good game. I think you'll enjoy it more for the strategy element. Because I think you like that stuff a little bit more where you have to put more thought into
it's like Company of Heroes or something. If you just run your guys in a machine gun fire.
Yeah, that's a great point. So there's a lot more of that now. But not as deep as Company of Heroes. Like you can still get away with it. Like you can overwhelm an army for sure. But if you can like lose more guys than you thought you were going to lose.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just based off positioning, and the ambushing is pretty cool, and they teach you how to play the game through the campaign. So we'll see. I'm going to play more of it. I'll probably try to beat all of the campaigns, but there's a lot of levels in there. I think it's like 9 to 10 missions for each class, I think, or maybe it's 12. So I'm definitely like 25% through. All right. Next for you.
So I've been playing a game called the Rift Breaker, it's on a game that you may have heard of. I heard it on Rebel FM's podcast and piqued my interest. So it is a hybrid of a twin stick shooter and a tower defense game. The campaign, the story's a little thin. You're a giant mech suit person inside of a mech suit, and you are transported to this new planet. What's going to be like the new home after we fucked Earth up. And your job is to, gather resources, build an infrastructure, and defend whatever you built from the natural inhabitants of the world, which happen to be like a very hostile alien species. So you have weapons on each arm. It's twin stick shooter, left and right click for different weapons. But you build a base, you build walls, you build miners, you build defense towers, you expand your base, you jump around to different biomes around this world to gather resources. So you'll jump to like a radioactive desert to mine uranium. And then you jump back to your main base and you use that uranium. You have an outpost set up to power nuclear power plants, or you'll go to a different area that has maybe some sort of gas or something. That you
level
need to
based, or are you just building one land over time?
Yeah, so in the main biome, the main area, you're building up, and then you're transporting to these. You go through a load screen, and you're basically beaming yourself to a new map, like a specialized map, like a water biome or a desert biome or a tropical biome, and you set up outposts at these biomes. And even while you're over there, your other base is still operating. It's still gathering your resources. It's still being attacked. So you transport back there, and your outposts are still gathering resources for you.
Sounds really cool, actually.
It's $30, not a full price game. I've got. See, I bought it on Epic Game Store first, and then I realized that they didn't support cloud save, so I couldn't not play at work.
So you have to buy it again.
So I bought it on Steam. I got 8 hours on Steam. Probably got 4 or 5 on Epic. My save did carry over from Epic though. Actually, won't get that, but really love the game.
It very looks happy. Cool.
Yeah, it's a great game. I highly recommend it.
It honestly seems like something I would play.
It's beautiful. Particle effects are crazy. You got to set up your power grid. You got to set up like solar panels, your wind turbines. There's natural disasters, tornadoes and shit that just wreck your base, like SimCity style. Developers are.
It's like what Clash of Clans should have been.
Yeah, it's awesome. I wish it had co-op. It's great.
Oh wow, that would be so cool. So the twin stick shooter element is like when you go off to other worlds to like collect stuff, you like go out there by yourself and you.
So you're always a mech going around, and you always have weapons and you always have whatever. And
so you're collecting stuff.
Yeah, and you're building buildings. Well, you're building mining outposts, and that's automatically gathering. You're not actually bringing.
Yeah, but you're setting up turrets. Yeah. Oh, okay. So why are you exploring? What's like the benefit of exploring?
So you have to expand. Your resources they're finite. So if you have a mine that dries up, you got to expand to get more resources, and you're slowly destroying this planet. Yeah, you're destroying this planet like you destroyed Earth.
Oh, fantastic!
Burning down forests with your flamethrower, and these innocent creatures that have just been living there for 10,000 years. You show up and you slaughter. The usual.
You do you, boo boo.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Awesome. Yeah, that definitely. People should definitely check that one out.
Yeah.
All right, I'll make this one quick. But I got the Switch OLED. I'm pretty sure I said that already last time I showed it off. But I got a little game called Children of Morta. It was on sale. It's a game that I actually every now and then I like to watch like YouTube videos about like hidden gems, gems, especially when it comes to like RPGs or adventure games. Children of Morta is an indie game. It is a roguelike RPG with a very good story, a family of characters, and the roguelike elements transfers to each one of the characters. So as you level one up, it gives perks to the others, but they all have their own trees. They all have their skill and abilities. And you essentially go through these dungeons, which continuously obviously change every time you try to go through them. They change. So if you go through the same one again, you'll probably die at some point. If you go through it again, it'll be different than the last time. You're also incentivized to upgrade each character, because once you upgrade them, there's like a family tier, and then there's the individual tier. And as you move up the family tier, your family overall gets benefits. And like your central hub is like your family home. And there's this really cool story about like an evolving evil, like in this woods that surrounds the family's home. And like within the story, you're like supposed to sacrifice your baby in it. And it's like super dark, but it's really good. And as the story evolves, like you add like family members start coming back to the house. So you get like a new character, and like, so there's like a little girl, there's a little boy, then there's like an older brother. There's a stranger that comes by. There's like, you're older, like you start off with the dad. And then the wife is pregnant. There's like a grandmother. There's the dad's brother, like an older uncle, and he like builds weapons and stuff. Ben, honestly, if you have a chance to play it, I think the demo is available on Switch.
Okay.
Definitely give it a shot. The mechanics are really, really fun. I beat the game, and you know me, I don't always beat games. I beat the game. Sure. I pretty much leveled up every character. There is DLC available as well, which I think is like $6 for one and $2 for the other. So I bought the game. I think you can buy the entire package for like $25,
Okay,
which is with the DLC.
Okay, that's pretty good.
But it's really good. I really enjoyed Children of Morta. I would definitely recommend it to anybody who likes RPGs. The pixel animation or the pixel graphics in it are really good. It was just really good story, really good upgrades. Just enjoyed. I like once I picked it up, the play sessions can be anywhere between 10 minutes to 30 minutes. And even if you die, like I just kept going back in for more. And the progression system is consistent enough that, you know, you're like, oh man, I almost leveled up. Let me just go back. I'll do one more run. Yeah. And then as I got stronger and stronger, the game got a little bit easier towards the end. So I beat it kind of quickly, but there is a higher difficulty above that too. So if you want like another challenge, you can do that.
It's highly rated on Steam. Yeah, it looks good.
Dude, it's really good. Actually, yeah, it's on PC also. So maybe pick it up on PC might be better than the Switch, but it was perfect for the Switch. Like it was a pick up, sit. Like I was hanging out with my buddy Oren, and I was just playing while I was sitting next to him while he's watching TV. Really good. All right, let's get to the next one. Ben, have at it.
Indie title. Another indie title. Halo Infinite.
Of course, the little Halo, not the game with like the largest budget of any game in existence.
Yeah, so Halo Infinite. Yeah, I played probably about an hour, maybe hour and a half of Halo Infinite. Jumped into some big team battle. I jumped into some small team Slayer, capture the flag. It's so good. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Some technical bugs I ran into, mostly sound related.
Really?
Where, the most recent game I played, I wasn't hearing any weapon effects from anybody other than myself. It was weird. I don't know. It's hard to describe. Big team battle is insanity with like pelican wasps flying around, ghosts going crazy. Some imbalance with the weapons. I noticed they nerfed some guns from the beta that really make no sense. I anticipate they'll fix it. I'm not super worried about it, but it's so much fun. Capture the flag, so much fun.
How's the grappling hook?
Did not use a grappling hook.
Okay, I keep hearing it's like the best grappling hook ever.
I used it in the training versus the bots, but like capture the flag is really cool. They move the flag every time, so it's like every time that the other team captures your flag spawns at a different spot. Okay. So you're not going to run into the thing where they're waiting for it to respawn. They grab it right away because they don't know where it's going to be until it respawns. Little touches like that. They got some of the maps have weird sight lines. You'll get sniped as soon as you spawn. But it's classic Halo, man. They really did it. Wall weapons are great. No loadouts, all cosmetics. They already fixed the progression issue. Like I played a big team battle game where I was like, my KD was like, 25-3. Like I had a really good match, 0 XP. I got nothing.
Yeah, that's why people are pissed.
So
it doesn't even make any sense.
They're working on it. So I trust them. It's beta. We're still working on the campaign. Like they got other shit to deal with.
The question is, what were they thinking? You know?
Yeah, I know.
That's like again, I've definitely said this. You reward people for just playing the game.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it, you know?
But yeah, they seem to be doing the exact right thing. And I'm very pleased. Yeah.
Awesome. Sounds great. I'm sure if anybody's listening to this, you probably have played it or will. I have a feeling that it's going to be one of those games that everybody's going to be playing for a while, and they're probably going to try to get their hands on a version of it.
Yeah, it's free.
And play
if you got a PC, if you got an Xbox, it's free. If you don't have a PC or Xbox, get Game Pass. You can play it on your phone. You can play it on your TV. You can play it on your Chromebook. You can.
I don't think most people will know that though.
Yeah.
You know, most people won't know that they'll have all these other ways to play it. They're going to think they need to buy an Xbox. They need a PC.
Yeah, they got to push the Game Pass this holiday.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Can't find a console?
Yeah,
play it
on. Need one.
Yeah, play it on your Xbox. Xbox One.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's awesome. So next game for me, another indie title. KOTOR. So I repurchased KOTOR, even though I have it for PC. I repurchased it for Switch. You
couldn't just wait for the remake. You gotta play this game.
Dude, I started playing it when I was in Israel, so I really wanted to continue playing it. But man, Ben, this game is so good, dude.
I know, I played it.
I know, I've played it
16, but I played it.
I know, it's so long ago. But dude, it is still so good. Dude, it's crazy that these guys didn't write the Star Wars movies because they are so much better at it than Disney. And it's like, it's not even close. Like there's not even a close second. It's like the story is so good. They did do there's some jankiness. It's crashed on me a few times, so it definitely aspired. You need to patch that shit. But overall, it plays really well. The graphic upgrades definitely help. The widescreen element, it's the best looking version of the game that I've played so far. Much better than the PC version. And it still holds up fantastic. Like the game overall is just so good. So if you guys are listening to this and you haven't played KOTOR for whatever reason, dude, my friend Oren is a gamer. He's obsessed with Star Wars and he's never played KOTOR.
How old is he?
He's 32, 33. I'm like, dude, how have you never played KOTOR? He was like, oh, it's like that Star Wars game. It's like Final Fantasy, right? I'm like, yeah, that's what it is. I was like, play fucking KOTOR. I was like, he like talks to me about Star Wars lore all day, and he has not played KOTOR. It blows my mind. Hey. So, yeah, I would recommend it. I mean, it was only $15, so I would buy it. I had store credit to GameStop, so I'm like, I'm doing this. All right, go for it.
I finished Deathloop. I got hooked on that game. Yeah. No, not quite.
No. Yeah, I've heard. I've heard good but flawed.
It got 10s ever. I'm like,
it's not a 10.
The 10s have gotten me to play this. I'm like, this is not a 10. So it was not a 10 for me. Mm-hmm. Then it got up to really close to a 10. And then it was definitely not a 10.
So it's like an 8.
It's a solid 8.5.
Okay. It's still really good.
I was a big Dishonored fan, a huge Dishonored fan. Loved Dishonored. I think this was supposed to be Dishonored 3, maybe at least the groundwork for it. They were doing something similar,
and they rebranded it.
I think so because like half the powers are like straight up copies of Dishonored, and they're just renamed. Like there's like a teleport power that I keep calling Blink. I don't even know the name for it, but it's Blink in Dishonored, so I just call it Blink. It's the exact same power, same graphics, same everything. There's some overpowered things once you get them. The game's not difficult. It's just trying to figure out what you're supposed to do, where you're supposed to go. It suffers from that same thing of you're following a dot on a map. Mm-hmm. The game lies to you in a way. It makes you think that there are multiple ways of beating it. Like it makes you think like a Hitman level. It makes you like in a Hitman level, there's like 10, 15 different solutions to that level. Like how you can kill this target. You may not even need to kill the target. Maybe you get somebody else to kill the target for you or whatever. There's one solution to get through the game, to kill all those people in one loop. There's only one way of doing it. It's very clever how they like concealed that behind this looping mechanic, but every player the last run will be the same for every player for the most part. The ending was horrible. It just ended.
Really?
Yeah, very, very, very disappointing ending. Did not answer any questions. I liked like where the story was going.
Cliffhanger type of thing?
Kind of, yeah. Like there's some interesting character stuff that happens halfway through the game. I'm not going to call it a twist, but there's like interesting information that you get, and that doesn't really seem to go anywhere. Yeah. But the gameplay is so tight, so solid. Game runs great. Some people had issues on PC. I didn't run into those problems. I highly recommend buying it. Get it for $25-$30. Have a great time.
It's really cheap right now.
My play time on it was 18 hours.
Oh, that's quick.
Yeah.
It's crazy it's dropped so much in price because it was now it's like as we're doing this Black Friday, so there's going to be deals, obviously. But it was like I already saw a version of it for $20 like at the beginning of the month.
I'm really surprised about the tens on this game. It's almost like they played it 3/4 of the way through, started writing their review, gave it a 10, then maybe finished it later, but it was too late. Because it trends all the way up, and then you get to a point where you see that, like Mass Effect 3, all these roads are leading to one solution. You don't have any options on how you kill this person or how you kill that person. Like it has to be done in this exact way, or else it will not work. Interesting. But still, great game, solid. They got a lot for their money, making 4 levels basically, and different days of the time of days versions of them.
That's smart.
Yeah, probably saved a lot of money, and it's probably the only way they were going to get to make a game was to save some money. They weren't going to get the full budget for a Dishonored game again. Maybe they will now because this game's still gangbusters.
It did?
Yeah, it sold really well.
Why did it drop in price so fast?
I don't know. Holiday season, everything drops.
Yeah, but it was down to $30 like fast, like really fast. Usually that means the game didn't sell that well, but how many copies did it sell? Do you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking up.
It got a lot of success. I just don't know if it's because I remember like within like a couple months, I was seeing versions of it for $40, $35, $30. You know, it hasn't been out for that long.
It's tough to find.
They're probably hiding it.
Yeah, I'm sure. I guess you're right. They would have announced it.
I wonder if there's going to be a remastered version coming out or something like that for Xbox. Like an official one for Xbox, like down the line since the deals changed.
Yeah, they'll get it. It'll come to it.
Yeah.
Because you got to think it's a PS5 PC exclusive.
Right. And that won't last.
Yeah. So, I mean, those numbers are going to be lower than a typical game. Yeah. I mean, the MPDs had it number 1 in the month, but.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think there's anything. I don't think it was competing with anything else.
Yeah. Well, I doubt it's a game that's going to get a sequel. So maybe it will actually.
Set up for one, but.
Yeah. Maybe it'll be DLC.
I mean, not that the ending sets it up, but I mean, I don't know.
I see what you're saying. Like
the universe doesn't explode. Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't close off the story. Like, it probably just doesn't feel that satisfying.
Yeah.
All right. And then my last game, I don't have too much to say about it because I just bought it today, but Guardians of the Galaxy, I got it for $30. It's available for PS5. I bought it. It's available at Best Buy and Amazon for $30 for PS5. So I went to GameStop and asked them to price match because I had store credit. So
how much did you play of
it? Probably 45 minutes so far. Not much at all. It's like a 20-hour game from what I understand. First of all, the graphics are ridiculous, which I already heard. It's a gorgeous game.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Did you play Avengers?
No. Okay. I will never play that game. That game, everything I saw of that game seemed like a game I would hate. And it just seemed like a complete waste of time. This game, like just early thoughts so far, like it reminds me of like, I don't want to say The Last of Us, but it seems to take a lot from a lot of these great first person narrative games. Like the dialogue between the teams, it's definitely made me laugh. They're like always talking to each other. There's all this banter going on in between. I thought I would find it annoying. I have not. Like, the gameplay itself, I haven't done too much fighting. So far, so good. Nothing spectacular, but pretty good. And I think it'll probably expand a lot more and more. I haven't even gotten to the point of like upgrading anything or like leveling stuff up. So I haven't even touched the skill trees. There's like costumes. There's some like platforming in it. There's like a double jump. I'm probably going to beat it. It seems like a game I'm going to beat. The graphics are gorgeous. It looks like it takes storytelling seriously. And I really love the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Didn't love the second one so much.
No, me either.
Yeah, definitely didn't hit the same mark as the first one. And I was kind of dying for a little bit more. This seems to be like a little bit different from the movie, but also not that different where it actually seems like in the sense that it could be better, like definitely better than the second movie. So storytelling wise, it does. Like I think so far the reviews seem pretty accurate. Like I don't think this game is like a 9.5 or anything like that, but it does seem like maybe an 8.5 type of game where really good story, good gameplay. You'll really enjoy it, fun romp type of thing, but probably not like game of the year candidate.
Okay.
But beautiful.
I'm down for it. If I can get it for a good price, I'm definitely down for it.
Yeah, it seems like that's what I was waiting. I like knew it was going to be cheap. I thought I was going to pay 40 for it, but found it for 30. I was like, all right, I just went out and bought it today. I was like, I'm not going to get it cheaper for a while. Okay. That's all we got today. We didn't go too long. I think we did like an hour and 20 minutes here. So
yeah, it's not bad for us.
Good. Yeah. Considering we usually do 2 hours on something we're supposed to do in an hour.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah. Thank you everybody for listening. Please like, subscribe, share. We're going to try to be more consistent. Ben and I have both been very busy of late, but we have not given up.
We're still trekking. My son is trying to not kill himself on the regular like he was when he was first learning to crawl and walk. So I'll have more time to, do other things besides keep him alive. So
yeah. Also, we got a lot of games coming out that we're probably going to talk about.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy couple months. Yeah,
and it's going to get even worse probably in the beginning of 2022.
I just started installing PlanetSide 2 right now. I don't know if you ever played that game, but
no.
They just had a big expansion come out, so I'm going to jump back into that. I think.
I just want to game all day. Dude. I wish it was my job just to play video games sometimes. Yeah, but it probably would ruin it. All right, Ben. Good stuff. Thank you, everybody. Yep. Like, subscribe, share, comment. We'll do whatever we can to read. And we'll keep coming out with episodes to check out for more.
Yep.
Remember, play on gamers.